Welcome to the Sales Tutor channel. My name is Josh Harvey. I'm the founder of the Sales Tutor channel. In this specific video, we're going to focus on 5 mandatory skill sets for you to employ right away that'll help you close more deals. I've been a top rep across all sorts of verticals my entire career, and these 5 skills I believe are absolutely paramount to helping you be more successful right away. Stay tuned. Now, the first area I want to focus on is attitude. The best salespeople that I've ever been around always have such a consistent attitude. They could be getting screamed at on the other line of the phone, hang up the call, pick up the phone again, call another prospect, and still look to provide such an incredible value, such an incredible selling experience. Because at the end of the day, if you're going to let anything affect you day in, day out, whether it's drama on your team, whether it's the results from the month or the quarter prior, whether it's a director that's hounding in your ear or a manager that's on top of your daily KPIs. At the end of the day, a great attitude and a positive mindset will help you be so much more successful, and that will sometimes be the difference between someone who's at 80% to goal to someone that's at 120% to goal. And so I've seen it. I've been able to check myself in the mirror many a time. I'm human just like you. I make these mistakes all the time, but I'm consciously aware of my attitude because I know that my attitude is reflected immediately through the phone. That great attitude is going to go so far to helping you become a top sales rep at your organization and make President's Club next year. Now, this is a conversation that doesn't come easy for some people, but yet comes very easily for others. And that's the concept of work ethic. I do believe that work ethic can be improved and can be learned and can be made better, but typically it's very innate. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to know what your why is, why you're putting in those daily metrics, why you're putting in those KPIs to move a relationship further down the line or move a deal down your pipeline to close. You've got to be able to put in those daily metrics every single day to get to that opportunity. The bottom line is you're going to fail 80 to 90% of your time in sales. And you have to be okay with knowing, gosh, if I fail 80% of the time and I'm only successful 20% of the time, is that good enough for me? That's why I think great salespeople are a little bit sick in the head, because you got to be a little bit sick in the head to continue to get told no about your product or service. Now, granted, this sort of channel is going to be designed to help you get less of those no's and more yeses. But for now, let's keep this real short and sweet. Have a conversation with yourself. Look in the mirror and ask about your work ethic. Try to emulate one of your role models at your organization. Is there someone that puts in the work every single day? You want to be known in your organization as that person. Someone who's just going to simply put in the work, because there's no way to cheat success, especially in sales. Simply put, the top 1% at every organization that I've ever been a part of or ever observed all have excellent work ethic, and they're simply trying to outrun you or me every single day. So that should light a fire up under your ass, knowing that someone's trying to replace you at every given moment. So you have to put in that hustle as if someone's going to replace you today and tomorrow. Someone is working right now to replace you at your organization. Think about that next time you decide to scroll through Instagram, pop up Netflix, or do another activity that's not driving revenue. So when we think about top performing reps and what separates the top 1% to kind of the good reps to the middle of the pack, it's the ability to communicate the product or service simply better than other people at the organization. And what am I talking about here? Right? It's the ability to pitch a product or service and make it relatable for the other person who's hearing on the other end. We have to come across as a trusted advisor for that person. Now, we could spend all day just talking about how to build trust, how to build rapport, how to become an industry expert in your field. But right now, I want you to think about the ability to communicate with your prospects. Think about how you communicate with people day to day. How clear is that message being delivered? Ask yourself in the mirror, can I make this message, or can I improve my value proposition 5%? Can I ask clearer questions to better find out the owner priorities and what they're looking to accomplish with their business? Simply listen to what the prospect is looking to accomplish, and oftentimes they'll tell you what they want, what their priorities are. Now, it's our job to simply take in that information and make sure we can convey a clear path or a clear strategy to help that person answer that question. or solve that problem. So I challenge you today to take this, think about the ways that you communicate your product or service, take a beat, listen more and speak less, and practice working with your colleagues on your communication and being that trusted resource for the client. So when we think of top performers, another skill that's an absolute is a high level of business acumen. Pitching yourself as an industry expert, as a leader in your field, as a resource for this customer to go to with questions on how to do things a little bit better in their space. If you come across as a salesperson, more often than not, you're going to lose. If you come across as a trusted advisor, as someone with a high level of business acumen in that specific vertical, your prospects are immediately going to put you ahead of all the other salespeople that they're talking to. Because rest assured, you're not the only person that this business owner is looking at. This business owner is looking at all sorts of competition in your space. And the more that you can be a trusted advisor, the more value you can offer the business owner, not always trying to sell, or pitch a service or product down their throat, but the more value that you can add to that person, they will then see you in a different light. They will put you up here on this pedestal of salespeople versus considering this a very grimy sales transactional type experience. You know, I heard once, and I think it was so well said by another great sales professional, when sales is done right, it's the best profession in the world between customer and salesperson. When it's done poorly, it's the worst job in the world. And that's where we get a bad rap as salespeople, is if we're not bringing this consultative approach, if we're not communicating our solution clearly, if we don't have a great attitude about the service or a passion for what we're doing, then we can throw a great commission check out the window. Look yourself in the mirror. Do you see yourself as an industry expert in your field? If the answer is yes, fantastic. If there's a voice inside that's thinking, you know what, we could probably be a little bit better or a little more studied in X, Y, or Z, take time during your day. Put the KPIs aside for a minute, take 5 to 10 to 15 to 30 minutes a day, study articles in your space, take time to vet out other performers at your office and figure out, how to pitch yourself as a trusted advisor across every communication that you come across with your prospects. And I guarantee you that you'll start to close more deals with a higher level of business acumen. So when I think of top salespeople, I think of people that are able to handle objections really, really well and really clearly. So let's think of a couple ways here that we can handle objections. When we think of an objection that we're going to get, a very common one, no, not interested. Well, what's that first thought that comes to your mind? Are we simply hanging up the phone? Are we calling it a day, picking up the phone and calling another business? Are we gonna probe? Are we gonna be genuinely curious? Are we going to try to get into a discovery experience here with this customer? Right? That's the key here. This is a moment where this is your time to shine. When you get that first no, this is where you can start to separate yourself from all the average salespeople, not only at your company, but the average salespeople that this business owner interacts with on each and every day. This is where you get to show that sales is an amazing experience because you're going to be able to provide value, true value that's going to solve this business owner's challenge. So that's a really important moment where the rubber hits the road for a sales professional. When you get that first objection, that's awesome. You should be happy that you got an objection because if they haven't hung up yet, you're still in the game. So take a second here, and when someone gives you that objection, be genuinely curious. That's when the true discovery moment begins, right? Really probe that customer. What do you mean when you say you're not interested, right? Be able to show true value of what your product or service can do. And it'll even be more powerful if you're able to provide like genuine seller's proof. You're going to need references that can back you up, right? The ability for your customer to see that the value or the service that you provide has already been done across other companies in very similar verticals. That's going to be comforting to that business owner to know that you're not full of shit, to know that there's true value with the service or product that you offer. So again, we could beat this up all day, but being able to handle objections incredibly well is going to separate you from the pack at your organization, right? being extremely studied in your discipline, having a great attitude each and every day, no matter the results. Great attitude, right? Business acumen, being incredibly intelligent with the type of businesses that you're working with, having a high level of work ethic, of course. All of those areas, if we look at those and have an honest conversation on how we're doing in those areas of our life, in our organization, we can get 5% better today.